Hi everybody, welcome to Paper Wishes Weekly Webisodes. I'm Lene Gehrig, and today I'm really excited to bring you from hot off the press some brand new laser cut chipboard just in time for all of your Christmas crafts. I know it seems a little early, but it's not. So let's get right to it here. We've got Chipboard Ornaments. So this first one is Snowflake Ornaments. It actually makes two ornaments. Cardinal Ornaments, Merry Christmas, and Polar Friends ornaments. And then we're going to get right into the snow globes, and these make fantastic shaker cards or ornaments. So we've got the Snowman Snow Globe, Kitten Snow Globe, the Santa Snow Globe, Forest, and Nativity Snow Globes. I can't wait to show you what my friend Debbie and I did with these, so come play with us. So for our ornaments, as I said, we have got Snowflake, Polar Bear, Merry Christmas, and Cardinal. So let's start with the Snowflake. I'm going to show you a couple that I've made right here. So this first one is actually a double-sided ornament. It's got acetate in between these layers. So they punch out just like this. Oops. And these are laser cut. So they're very accurate. They each have little tabs in them. I find it helpful when they have these little tiny tabs. I just take a little emery board or a little sanding block and I just touch them like this, and that just takes that right away. You could also just scratch it off with your fingernail. So what I did here is, because the laser is sort of on one side, it's sort of got a smoky brown look to it, which is actually really cool and antique looking. And then on the other side, it's ivory. So I wanted my snowflakes to be white. So the first thing I did was paint one side of each with, oops, upside down, with Diffusion's white paint. And then I wanted to put them like this. So I wanted to paint one of the smoky brown sides so that they aligned. And then in between, I'm going to put this sheet of Snowfall acetate. So you would just glue it to one side, let that dry. You could just use our favorite glue, which is Cosmic Shimmer Specialist Acrylic Glue. And then just let that dry, and then use a pair of little tiny scissors and just cut around the outside edge. And then once that's done, you're going to glue those two pieces together, making sure everything is aligned like that. And then I got the fun of decorating, and I have so much on my desk today, you would not believe it, but I'm looking for my rainbow flat back pearls. Well, where are they? They're probably gonna pop up as soon as I'm done with the video. But within that package of pearls, there's some gold ones. So I used the gold. Of course, you gotta put them on the front and the back. And then I used a little bit of gold Stickles glitter glue on the center of the smaller ones. And then on the top, I just knotted a little piece of gold ribbon from the gold and silver ribbon set and glued that at the top. And then I just used some, this is actually white quilting thread, but twine would work as well to hang that. Then from the same set, you can get an entirely different look. This set is a little sneak peek, this paper set right here. This is from Christmas Joy cardstock. And this is from the 6x6 size, and it's coming out very soon, but we begged Paulette and she said we could go ahead and use it for these projects. So then I just actually used, this is one ornament. This is what's on the back of this cardstock. And I used a couple of pens to color that in. So I used, these are the Tri-Blend markers by Spectrum Noir. And I used blue turquoise to color my little snowflakes. And if you're not familiar with the Tri-Blend markers, they're a dark, a medium, and a light pen all in one. So I started off at the center by coloring in the darkest part of the snowflake, and then just proceeded to go out lighter and lighter. And then I also used around the outside, digging in my box of pens, I used my red, my dark red, all around the outside. And you can see how all of these smaller snowflakes, I just punched those out as well and layered some with red on it right here and here. And then went back and used those pearls. And then of course I had to add a special little Let It Snow, and that is from Christmas Script Greeting Dazzles and the Tiny Words and Phrases Christmas Dazzles are upside down, and I use those red ones right there. And these are always handy to have in your stash when you're making Christmas cards or any kind of Christmas craft. All right, so moving on. Okay, like I said, lots of stuff to show you today. So here's the same snowflake one, but this one I made it into a card. So this one I used the Side Step die cut card. You can buy them in packs like this, and I covered my card using 6x6 snowfall papers. And on the back of this little cover there is a pattern that shows you how to cut the shapes out, and it makes it very quick and easy to make. And then I just used an ink pad. I used actually French Navy, and just used the surface of the ink pad and just pounced that on top of that snowflake ornament. Use that white paint again to paint these white ones. And then I backed my ornament with another darker shade of the paper. Used my pearls again, and then also some sweet little ribbon here. This is Velvet Shimmer glitter ribbon pack, and this is great for using at Christmas time. There's all kinds of really festive colors in that as well. All right, so now we've got this one. Oh, so cute. This is the polar bear, and this one my friend Debbie made. She also backed it with that new joyful Christmas paper pack, or cardstock pack rather. And she also used an ink pad here to color the actual ornament. And then she used some of the tri-blend markers. She used like a gray here on the little polar bear, and then the red and the green. She used a black marker. There we go. Where's my black marker? There we go. This one is just a solid black marker, has a pointed tip and a chiseled tip, also by Spectrum Noir, but it's not a tri-blend. And just took that and just used that to color in her cute little penguin. And then of course we had to add a little fluffy snow to that. So we've got our little fluffy stuff from Cosmic Shimmer. I'm going to show you how to use this in a little bit. And then she also just took a little bit of that blue ink and just kind of smudged that right on there. Use that same Dazzle pack by adding magic on there. And then a little bit of beautiful blue ribbon. It came from the blue ribbon set. Very sweet card. All right, now this one is the Merry Christmas ornament. Look at this one that Debbie made. So precious. So she backed her ornament. Well, first I should tell you how she colored it. So the first thing she did is she used Cosmic Shimmer Pixie Sparkles, and this comes in a powder, and she just applied that. You can paint that on with a little tiny paintbrush, or you can sprinkle it on and then mist it with a little bit of clear water. I think that she probably used a paintbrush to paint that on, and then she added some Stickles Gold Glitter Glue and went over the lines of the Merry Christmas. And then she used a Spectrum Noir marker to color her little holly leaves. Those come right there. And then she added some little gold Jewel Dazzle stickers to the center of her little holly leaves. And then she backed the whole thing with a little bit of paper, or rather cardstock, from a brand new cardstock pack that we have. This is Poinsettia Passion. There's one right here that's a nice little creamy swirl one. And she used that on the back of this ornament and added some of that beautiful velvet glitter ribbon as her hanger. All right, so this is the cardinal. There we go. And once again, Debbie used some Spectrum Noir pens to color in the outer part of her ornament. And then she also used some jade green right here to color in all of her little pine boughs. And then a nice brown Spectrum Noir pen, I think it's earth brown, to color in her pine cones. And then she went ahead and colored her cardinal red using a red pen, and then added some red, this one is red tinsel embossing powder. So first of all, you want to apply a little bit of embossing ink to that first, and then you can then sprinkle on your powder. Now we have an embossing pen at Paper Wishes, but you could also just brush on a little bit of either Wow embossing pad or the translucent clear. Either one are clear inks that make the image sticky so that the red tinsel will apply. And then you have to use a heat gun, and that heats that right up. Isn't that sweet? I love that one. She also then put the Snowfall acetate behind her ornament and then covered that with green cardstock. Very sweet. Now, also included on this sheet, we've got some other pieces, some other cardinals that you can layer like Debbie did with hers. She took some of these little pine boughs and pine cones and layered them. So for this one, I actually did something that was a little different. I took these pieces right here, and to sort of get a third ornament, so this would be 1, 2, and then I wanted to do something to make something with these that was separate. So I used these fancy, this is a fancy square chipboard and the 3-inch circle chipboard. And the first thing is I covered this one using a paper pack. Here we go. This is 6x6 Merry Christmas, or Christmas Memories rather. It has a really sweet red and white dot on the back of one of these papers. So I covered my chipboard shape right here, and then I used my small scissors to cut around it, and then using a little sanding block went around that, and it gave it sort of a nice white edge, sort of a distressed edge, but also got rid of any little cuts of paper that didn't go so perfectly, so it makes it fit nice and perfect. Then I took one of the circles and I just used the surface of this ink pad, this is Arctic Mist, and just covered the whole thing with this nice light blue color. And then I colored my cardinal pieces right here using the red Spectrum Noir pen. I used dull green and then also golden brown. Got them all colored, and then as you can see behind the cardinal there's some opened areas. Well, I just sort of lifted that up and colored directly to this piece behind it and then just laid it down on top. So really pretty easy to put together, and I like how that turned out. So as you can see, really cute ornaments and lots to make. You can easily get 3 ornaments out of every piece, okay, every package. So we're gonna take a break for a minute while I reset everything up, and I'm gonna show you the snow globes. I'll be right back. So we're back with our snow globe shakers. These are perfect for cards. You can also make ornaments out of them, but for today we're gonna put some on some cards to give you an idea what they look like. So let's start off with the snowman globe, and then I can show you how they're put together. So here's the snowman globe, and here is my first card. So this is a center step card. Comes in packages like this. They're already die cut, they're already folded and ready to go. There's 5 cards and envelopes, and if you have a die cutting machine, we also have this in a die, so you can make unlimited numbers for yourself. So how to assemble these? So the first thing is every one of these comes with your 4 pieces of chipboard and your piece of plastic in the shape of a snow globe. So once you just evacuate those like we did before, then of course I like to take my little sander and just get rid of those little tabs. Okay. Now, for this one, I should mention that the background paper is also from the Christmas Joy cardstock. It's brand new. I didn't even have a sample to show you. It's coming out soon. They're great, just simple background papers, very, very colorful, lots of plaids and lots of snowflakes on them. And we sort of snuck them into the projects. So first of all, I'm going to start with the back part of my chipboard. Where did I put it? Here it is. All right. So for the backing, I'm going to take Arctic Mist ink pad, and I'm just going to directly cover this just to get that sky background going. Okay. And then there's, of course, all of these layers. There we go. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to glue the layers on so that they have time to dry, because when you get your shaker material in there, which we'll discuss in a moment, you don't want that shaker material to get stuck into the wet glue and then sort of suspended. Finding my glue and all of my things here. All right. So we're just going to use a little bit of Cosmic Shimmer glue, just going around that with a nice thin line. Okay, and we're just going to stack these up because we are creating space for the shaker material. And I'm just going to make sure they're all aligned and also try to get rid of any extra glue that's seeped out. All right. And then just press that down so it's nice and sealed. You don't want any gaps there that your shaker material can slip out of. So I'm just going to set that aside for a moment. So while that's drying, let's talk about shaker material. I am going to use Sprinklet's Very Cherry, and they're nice and flat, colorful. I love the little candy theme. They come in all different kinds of color, robin's egg, limeade, there's many more. But then there's also, this one is Blizzard, and it's all kinds of little sequins. They're white, they're clear, and there's also snowflake shape. I'll just sprinkle some here on the table so you can see. And they're just a lot of fun. Those are also great shaker material. And then there's other things like sparklets. Sparklets are different than sprinklets. Sparklets with a Z. This one is Winter Wishes, and then this one is Starry Sky, both of which are used in projects that are coming up. They're a little thicker. They have more dimension to them. You could mix them with any one of the other things for another sort of bigger bang of color. So there you go. So now let's get into it, and we're going to color our outer edge here. And I like to use the Spectrum Noir pens. This is the blue turquoise blend. I'm going to take the medium color. If you're not familiar with these, they have 3 different colors, light, medium, and dark, all in one. There we go. All the way around. And then when you get to the snowflakes, we're going to color those as well. I like to start off dark in the middle, and then we're going to go to a lighter shade. And this lighter shade just blends really well with the medium shade, just to give it a little interest so the snowflakes aren't all the same color. There go. All right, we're also going to color our little birds blue. And these are probably robins, so these are totally the wrong color, but aesthetically, I liked the blue color. Let's zoom in some, Steve. All right, so now we're going to use some golden brown. So I can find golden brown blend. And golden brown we're going to use for our friend the squirrel and the fence post. We're also going to put a little bit on the chest of each one of these birds. We're going to color in the snowman's arms. We're going to be using the medium color in our squirrel. And the post here, we're going to use the, whoops, well that's the core of it. We don't want that to show. There we go. We're going to use the darker shade here for the post. And a little bit darker here on our squirrel. Okay, there we go. Now we're going to use the red for the hat. No, not for the hat. For the scarves, we're going to take the scarf, the mittens, and the house. So I'm using the darker shade on the outside of the mittens and sort of at the base here. And then on this side of the house. And then we're going to go and take the lighter shade. Nope, too light. We're going to go to the medium shade and do the house. And I'm doing this very quickly. But when I originally did this ornament, I just sat and had so much fun just coloring in all my little pieces. There we go. All right, so the last color we're going to use is an ice gray. And well, actually I'm going to use the earth brown, because I do want to add a little bit more color here to my post. Just gives it a little more interest. And on my little squirrel, as well. There we go. Let's find that ice gray. There we go. So for the ice gray, I'm going to use it just on one side of the snowman. Just kind of going like that, because we just want to show a little bit of shading there. And then I'm going to use the darker color for half of the hat, and then the medium color for the rest of it. Kind of blend that in. All right, so the rest I'm going to leave white, and whoop, that's not true. I'm going to use the gray at the base as well. Almost forgot the base. So we're just gonna, what I did is I took my little plastic piece here, and I'm going to use that as a guide, because I want to go straight across here like that. All right, and then I'm going to go down to the medium one. All right, and then I'm going to use on the snowman, this is the clear sparkle brush, and it's just a really nice clear liquid that we're going to brush on to that snowman, because I don't want to paint him. I just want him to sparkle. Also put some on your snowflakes as well. Let's see if I can show you that sparkle there. There we go. All right, so for the last part, we're going to add our Cosmic Shimmer Fluffy Stuff. And this stuff is great. We bring it out every holiday season. And it's a liquid. You just want to put a thin layer. The thicker it is, the longer it takes to puff and crackle. You're going to need a heat gun for this process. And I'm just sort of moving that around, keeping the layer pretty thin. All right, pretty happy with that. So now we're going to use a heat gun. Ooh. We're going to want to zoom in on this, Steve. There we go. Woo. Keep your fingers away from the heat gun area. All right. And as this fluffy stuff heats up, you're going to see it slowly start to crackle. It dries out and it puffs up and it crackles and it looks like wonderful snow. It's thicker over here on this edge, so it's taking a little bit longer. You don't need much for it to really take off. Whew, there we go. Now you do want to be careful because this is paper chipboard and you don't want to get too close or dawdle too long on that or it will kind of smoke and it looks a little scary. There we go. All right, so I think we've had enough time here for this to dry. So we're going to take our Very Cherry sprinklets and I'm just going to put in a couple of little pinches of that. You don't need a lot. All right, and now we're going to put a little thin line. This is where you want to be careful. You've waited for the other layers to dry, so you don't want to get too sloppy with your glue here. Okay, then this piece is going to go right on there. I'm going to turn this one over and we're going to get glue. You don't need to cover the entire thing. This is already sealed. The stuff isn't going to go anywhere, but I do want to make sure all the points sort of connect. You don't want snowman arms kind of flailing around. They can get broken. That's about all you need right there. Now, once you're setting this down on top of the plastic, you really want to commit. So I'm starting with the corners down here, making sure these align. You don't want to sort of set it and slide it around because then you get glue all over your plastic. All right, so that is squared up. Got some glue here that's coming out. I'm just going to take my nail and move that over. All right, so then I added a little bow here. I took some more of those little sprinklets and I glued them here. Along the bottom of my card, I've got one of these beautiful little thin line colorful dazzles. Put one right there, dazzle sticker. And then one of these great Christmas greetings, Holly Jolly. I thought that was just fun. It kind of reminded me of like Burl Ives, the snowman from Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. So these are from Script Greeting Dazzle stickers. They also have those little tiny words and phrases down there too. So I did the red one there. And also added some glitter jewel dazzle stickers. And for these, I love using our little jewel picker. It's got two sticky, tacky ends to it. I like to use the big one. And I'm going to use, you sort of place it, stir it, and then it's going to lift up like that. And you can place those right on your little snowflakes, like this. Come on. All right, so now at this point, once I added a little red ribbon there, it's an ornament, okay? So I could, at the back here, I could just glue a little looped length of ribbon, and it's an ornament perfect, ready to give. Or I can then take it and I could put it on my card. So let's look at some more of these. All right, here's one that Debbie made using the Nativity set. Let me find this one. Here it is. Isn't that sweet? And for this one, she actually blotted the entire first layer with Midnight color ink pad. So pretty. And then the little star here, she did that in gold Stickles glitter glue. And then once it dried, she added just a little bit more ink around that, so it's kind of got some other color in that. And then really, really beautiful. She used some of the shimmers, rather the sparklets inside her layers. And then she, for her background on her papers, she die cut, this is silver linen cardstock, and it's beautiful. And she used the 12 circles and scallops cutting dies for that, to make this beautiful circle. And then she also used some paper that you can buy at Paper Wishes by the sheet. This is Christmas Tidings, and had that be covered her card with this silver linen paper, and then cut this slightly smaller, and then also just glued a little knotted length of beautiful pearl, silver pearl ribbon from gold ribbon, this gold and silver ribbon set. All right. Oh, and then this one, guys, this is so beautiful. This is one. This one is the Forest Snow Globe. This one is also another sneak peek. The background papers that are used here are called Foggy Forest cardstock. It's also coming out soon. We really got away with that by being able to use these early. Paula doesn't really like us to do that, and we were like, please, it would be perfect with this snow globe. So for this one, after she covered her card with the snow globe cardstock and then paper, she used the little Merry Christmas Dazzle stickers. Grab those right here, and they come in all kinds of different finishes in one collection. And then she painted her actual scene here. Let me see if I can grab one. Here we go. Here it is. This is Green Bay Pixie Sparkles, and I want to show you how to use this. There it is. I knew I set one of those aside. All right, for this we're going to need our craft mat. I think I should have used it before, but here we go. So for this, we're going to use this side of it. The first thing she did is to use a jade green Spectrum Noir pen. So she used the darkest shade. She went all the way around here. Okay, when you get to this part down at the bottom, you just have to sort of use your imagination where this part continues. Put a little bit of this green on the tips of the tree. All right, and then colored in this area dark green. All right, now we're gonna need a little paintbrush and a mister with some water and this great Green Bay Pixie Sparkles. So usually you can just sort of mist some of this on. So what we're going to start off with is I'm going to take this clear water and mist it on the ornament, okay? But this stuff gets absorbed really, really quickly. So we're really going to be relying on our paintbrush. But this will get us started. I'm just going to put some right in the center there. As you can see, because I misted it, it's already reacting on that deer. So we're going to take this extra that's right here on the mat, and we're going to go ahead and paint this onto our birds and the tree, just like that. And we're going to just continue to kind of mist it because we want it to be sort of lighter. Ooh, I'm getting mine much darker than Debbie did. Usually it's the opposite. There we go. Sort of rubbing it around there. Oops. There we go. All right, so once we do that, now we're just going to add some more pixie sparkles directly, well, I guess I should set this down, directly to the chipboard. Come on, pixie sparkles. Nope, it's open. My nozzle's a little clogged. I have to do a little emergency surgery using a paper clip. Well, I think I got some water inside the nozzle, so, oh, all right, that works too. All right. As you can see, it's starting to just react with that because it's already moist, and it's just got this beautiful sparkle to it. I loved how that looked. And then, of course, we would just add some more right up here to our little birds. There we go. I love how that looks. Beautiful. Now I'm just going to kind of sweep that up later, and you can just return the rest to the inside of your bottle. Don't want to waste it. All right. So now I have another background one. This one is one that I made. So the top half, I used some blender brushes and a French navy ink pad. Just did a nice sky blue. And then the bottom part of it, I used the 6x6 Snowfall paper pack, and then added some of these really beautiful borders. Here we go. These are fancy border pastel and pearl dazzle stickers. And I added these really beautiful sort of green ones along these edges, and then all of these snowflakes come from this beautiful snowflake collection. I use these smaller ones right here. Put those all along the back so that my background was all ready. And then to color in my snow globe, for the background I used a little bit more of the French navy and sort of made a little strip, and then through the center I added some of the Arctic mist. Used my black Spectrum Noir pen to color the Santa sleigh and the base, and then just use this ink pad again full strength around the outside edges here, and you can just use little dauber sponges, finger sponges, to apply that. And then I used daubers as well for the 2 shades of green. I started out by adding olive green first, which is the lightest, and then adding a little bit of dark green, and then coloring in my little cabin here with an earth brown pen. It's this one right here. And then I got to use some of that fluffy stuff again. Also using the earth brown. I used the lightest shade of the earth brown to color in my swirl. And then I went over that with a little bit of gold stickles. And then I went and added for my shaker material, I used the Blizzard little snowflake guys. So that was a really fun one to make. My last one is the kitty snow globe. Here we go. For our kitten snow globe, for this one, Debbie used the 6x6 gingham paper. She used the red one here, and then actually on the kitty part, she used the little black smaller check, which is tiny. And I wanted to show you how she did this. You can see here on this little chipboard, right there, what she did was she turned this over and she used a pencil and she traced around the kitty onto that tiny black gingham and then cut that out and then glued that right over the kitty. It's so cute. And then for her background, she used some ink pads she used to color in her sky, and then sort of this beautiful golden yellow. She used a little circle die and cut out a piece of paper to make that beautiful little circle. And then coloring in with red and green, and then adding the stars. These are Starry Sky sparklets for her shaker material. And you'll notice everything on here is super, super glossy, and that's because she used clear embossing powder. So first, when she got her top layer done, she added some clear embossing ink using an ink pad on top of that, and then just sprinkled on this clear embossing and then heated that with a heat gun. And if you're interested in knowing more about heat embossing, if you go to our home page and go all the way to the bottom, you'll see a link to Stamping 101, and within that is a link for heat embossing, and it'll show you how to do heat embossing. So you guys, we have so many projects here. Thanks for hanging in with me and seeing all the wonderful projects. And if you are watching us on our Paper Wishes page, you would want to just look on the right hand side and you will find a link to the money saver we have on all of this wonderful chipboard. And down below you've got the video, you've got a gallery that shows you all the photos. Click on that, all the supply lists, and below that you'll see a product used drop down menu where you see every single item that we used here today. And if you're watching us on YouTube, we haven't forgot about you. Look in the description box, or rather look below the video, and you'll see a link, and just click on that link and that will take you to the Paper Wishes webisode page, and you'll see everything I just mentioned. So thanks for joining me today, and I'll see you next time.